All right, welcome back to the KnivesFAST channel. It is time for another video, so say hello to Ren and Stimpy and Powdered Toast Man, Log TV, and Choo Choo, and let's get started on the KnivesFAST channel. Okay, time for another review. By the way, this is the KnivesFAST channel. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe notification bell, sticking around, and checking me out over on Instagram at KnivesFAST. Now, this is a knife from Monterey Bay Knives. Really cool. You can see this is a $65 knife. This is the Monterey Bay Knives Old Guard Black G10. Now, guys, the Old Guard is a design, the Old Guard and the Mini Old Guard are designs they've had out for quite some time. I owned a Mini Old Guard in titanium inset lock, and then since then they've come out. They had the full-size Old Guard, also in an inset lock in titanium. But this is the first time they've done a G10 budget version. Now, currently at their website, there is black G10, JG10, and white G10 in this configuration of G10 nested liners, 14C28N steel, and these are $65. Now, the Mini Old Guard is $60. The colors are a little bit different that are available, but roughly the same thing, and they're $60. They're just quite smaller. Now, this guy has contour G10 scales, satin hardware, a wire clip. Now, what was interesting was they shipped this with 2 extra wire clips. Now, as you can see, this one came with quite a bit of play in it. I tightened it and then it's come loose again. Let me just tighten it right now one more time. Probably just didn't get it good and tight the first time. Let's see if it's T8. Yeah, it was loose. So, yeah, but you can see there it's kind of scuffed up the G10 where it moved around a little bit while I was carrying it. But it's good and tight now. There's a little bit of play, but that's usual with a wire clip. But they did send 2 extras, and they also send an extra set of screws. Does have wow, Casey, thumb studs. You have a captive pivot, only tooling on one side, and a really cool profile overall. And I dig the contoured G10 because you end up with this really nice banding. Now, you do have a lanyard hole there, and you do not have a reversible clip. No way to reverse that clip, right side only. Thumb studs, bam, okay. You do have very good access to the lock bar and a nice chamfer with no silly skeletonization, as Casey likes to call it. The lock bar moves really pretty easily. You're able to move that out of the way. Now, you can see I've moved it out of the way, and it doesn't just fall. You got to give it a little bit of a shake, and it's a shaker. I believe this to be running on on washers. We'll check the website here in just a minute to make sure it is a nice. Wow, Casey, I'm just having trouble with words, guys. I don't know, man. All right, maybe we need to stop for a second and I can get my words together. And I have been cutting with this, so the blade's kind of messy. But this is a nice satin finish on this beautiful 14C28N. You do have plenty of room for your sharpening choil there and for your plunge grind, and you're going to have a nice clean edge. The only billboarding is the Monterey Bay logo, very small, but it's on the grind, which isn't usually my favorite. No steel marking up there it is. Okay, so we have a steel mark right here, 14C28N. Good place to put it there. Now, the guy that I've been waiting to talk about, unfortunately on this one, the detent is a little light. Now, it's not as big of a deal on deployment because you have a very nice cutout here, good access to the lock bar, and the angle, good access to the thumb studs, and the angle is such that if you hit those thumb studs, that guy's going to pop out. Now, it is a little sluggish unless you really see. You can see there I broke that detent real easy. You can see it'll still come out pretty well. Can I middle finger flick it? Yes, I can. A little sluggish. But the way you really tell how this is that. Okay, I did not pop that real hard. It comes out of there very, very easy. The detent is extremely soft on this particular one. Now, talked to my buddy Big Red, and his is not like that at all. He shook it on my live stream. His did not come out. Now, he's got the smaller one, the mini old guard, so might be a little different. I have heard of other people having a light detent on theirs, but I don't know. The lock bar, as I said before, moves pretty easily, and that might be as simple as it is. There's just not a lot of pressure from that really thin lock bar. You can see your lockup is about a 20 there, but it does move over very easy. You're nice and centered. Lockup, a little bit of side to side, but again, I have not adjusted it. No up and down. It's not going to fail whatsoever. Let me get some alcohol and clean that tape goo off the blade so you can see it. I hate to do that, but I had just been cutting with it, doing a little bit of testing, cutting with it. Now, this blade is not super duper thin, but it's definitely got a really nice geometry to it. Boy, I kind of overdid the alcohol there. Woo! It's stinky in here. Okay, so there we go. Nice and clean now, as you can see. Well, there's still a little bit of tape goo there, but oh well, we'll get it later because I'm going to do some more cutting for you guys here in just a minute. But again, not super droppy. You can see there when I gave it a little bit, it'll drop down pretty easy. Really good. Let's go ahead and do our cutting. Let's see. Here's a good piece. So you can see there, really nice edge on this one, and it is very nice as far as the thinness. You can see here, not super thin, but it's got a fairly high grind, so it comes down to a nice thin edge, which I really, really like very much. Now, I see this one as a very budget-friendly worker, not one you're going to be super duper worried about using because you paid $65 for it. And that's still high. I know for some of you it is, but I consider budget under 100. So to me, that's what this is. Now, 4-finger grip feels really good in the hand. That pocket click comes up in the middle of my palm and doesn't really bother me here. Feels really nice in the hand. No jimping back here, but I personally don't really need it. I know some of you feel every knife should have jimping. Let me just wipe this one more time. But we're all different, and that's what I like about this community is that everybody can like what they like. In my case, I like jimping in some cases, but in others, I don't have to have it. I mean, it's just not completely necessary for me, but I'm not doing the hard use. Now, could you hard use this knife for work? Absolutely, guys. It locks up really well. I think it would be very good for that. Let's do our friendly neighborhood comparisons. Number one, we've got the Ontario Rat 1. We've got the Ontario Rat 2. The Rat 1 is bigger handle and blade, and the Rat 2 is smaller handle and blade. Very good comparisons there. Different blade shape. We've got this really nice clip point. Now this one is designed by both Ray Laconico and Sanford Owen over there, and but it definitely still has a very Ray Laconico neutral handle here. Blade length is 3.5 inches. Overall, it's 8 inches. Thickness is 0.135 on the blade, and again, it comes down really nice and thin. Handle is 4.5. Yes, please. 14C satin blade, made in China. It is on bronze washers, as I said, and it is 3.8 ounces. Now, if I go over to the mini old guard, the one that's $60, now that one looks like it's in gray G10, looks like brown G10, and black G10. Let's just make sure. Yep, gray, brown, and black, and that one's 60. And that one is 7 inches with a 3-inch blade and a 4-inch handle and 3.2 ounces. So, again, 8 inches to 7 inches, 3-inch blade to 3.5-inch blade, 4-inch handle to 4.5-inch handle. So, yeah, check them out. $60 and $65. Again, I'm telling you my experience on this knife that the D10 is light. I don't think that would keep me from telling you guys to check one out, but just bear in mind that your D10 might be a little soft on that one. So something to consider. Very cool knife. I have loved the design of the Old Guard and the Mini Old Guard since they first came out. Fantastic designs from Ray and Sanford. I really, really dig it a lot. So there is my thoughts on this knife. Guys, definitely give me a comment down below, your thumbs up, all the things, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and thank you so much for all your support and for watching the Knives Fast channel.